What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today, lads, we're gonna be talking just about what in the hell 2K are doing. And this is just, for me, just confusion. It is just straight up just being confused, because I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get what goes on behind the scenes. And I mean, maybe you guys can explain this better than I can, but like, this game has issues. Like, we actually know that this game does have issues. But why the hell are half the things that are being fixed not even issues with the damn game? So I'm gonna just take a look at this right here when it comes to like the patch notes. So we can take a look at the patch notes, key changes in NBA 2K23. Preparation for Season 4, whatever. Bob Linear 16 stripe, okay, perfect. These are just kind of minor things. But, let me see. You can see here, a fixed camera zoom issues in Triple Threat Online. Like, this wasn't an issue on day one. Why did they have to screw up the camera in the first place? Why is it that we always see there are big issues in this game? And first of all, I'm not quite sure the 70% can be fixed. It's been here half a decade, so I don't think the 70% can be fixed. But we have so many like actual gameplay issues. But yeah, like, we end up now seeing a freaking camera change for no apparent reason. We see crap like that. Limited lineup rules will now ignore boosted dynamic duo gem colors. So they actively went, but this is another situation. They've just, these two things, two of these things are things they screwed up and have fixed and are now going back on. They screwed up so badly with the camera. Literally, no one on that dev team could have played the game for more than 40 minutes without developing motion sickness. They better be glad that I'm not an X-Maker, because I would have sent in 10 minutes of footage of Triple Threat Online and said, if any dev can sit through this on loop for 2 hours without vomiting, then I'll be cool with it still being in the game. They literally put motion sickness in the game. I've never seen that before. And then you see here, lineup rules will now ignore. It ignored it for 2.5 years. Just either last season or season before. I don't play limited. They just changed it for some reason. Dynamic duo boosts have never affected the way lineup things are. But then they go and change it for no reason. That no one ever complained about that. And then they felt that that was something to change. There's so much BS in this game that I can't even begin to list. But yet they went and freaking changed two things. They fixed two things and broke two things. And now there are two things they're fixing for Season 4 in my team are two things that just broke at the start of Season 3. Like, and now this is the biggest case of what the hell are they doing? So you guys can see this right here. This is a not big deal. First of all, the TCO camera was a big deal. The boost dynamic duos, not the end of the day. But this is not a big deal. But it is such a minor thing that the fact that the devs took time out of their day to fix, aka break, a game mechanic that people have been doing since 2K16. We've been doing this since 2K16. But yet, they've now decided that they're going to fix it, aka break a legitimate game mechanic. It is something that should be in the game by default. It should be in the game. There shouldn't have to be a workaround for something. This should be in the game by default. People found a workaround to actually do something, and they fixed it by now no longer allowing us to do something basic. And what that is a very nothing issue. It's a real nothing scenario. But the fact that with so many things wrong, this is what they decided to do is bad. So you guys can see with 2KU. You guys can see freestyle, all this stuff in 2KU. So what a lot of people like to use 2KU for freestyle. The vast majority of players that have any idea what's going on in the game use 2KU for freestyle. We use 2KU for freestyle. That's what we do. But there is a bit of an issue with 2KU, is that you actually can't go out and try out custom cards. If you want to like try out how X player would look like with a quick jump shot, like a lot of people have done that over the years. Like they'll make, you want players to have a certain jump shots on quick. Maybe they want to use like created players in 2KU. Like there are situations where like maybe someone would want to just, I don't know, they might be just playing in my league or something, or there's very few situations where this is needed. Trust me, there are very few situations where this is needed. I'm trying to think of a hypothetical situation. Like, but what should vary, if you want to use an injured player, if you, I don't know, you use injury-free rosters and you want to just shoot around with an injured player. So again, if you look at the Orlando Magic, I know he's starting to come back, but there is no Jonathan Isaac here. So, if you go to, or even the Lakers, if you want to just shoot around with Anthony Davis, you physically cannot shoot around with Anthony Davis right now. See this edit lineups? Davis isn't there. You can't shoot around with Anthony Davis. But this is literally how you used to have to do it. There should if you go into quick play, there's a custom roster button. Where am I? I'm covering it right now. But you press the left stick to load roster. If you go into blacktop and you go to 1v1, you press in the left stick and you can load in a custom roster. So if anyone wants to shoot around with AD right now, you can't through 2KU. But what you used to be able to do was, you used to be able to go to injury-free roster, or you go to any sort of creative roster, you go to injury-free roster, and then once you did that, it loaded the injury-free roster into the game, and then you could back out of the mode, and then you go to 2KU. But now you can see it does this like black screen loading thing, and now when you go back into 2KU, it's back to the regular rosters. Like, why? Just why? It makes no sense. Like, and is this the end? Is this the be all and end all? No. Is this such a minor nitpick? Yes, of course it is. But my problem is that there are so many issues that, like, the fact that TTO camera was changed for no one has ever asked for the TT online camera to be changed. There were issues with TT co-op. Just make those two game modes don't have to be on the same camera. They don't. Or add an extra. If you want the TT co-op to be like that, maybe add an extra camera and call it co-op. Or use the park camera in TT co-op. Maybe that's a smart decision. Rather than changing a TT online camera, which definitely wasn't tested. Because there's no way it was tested on more than 3 people. Because at least 1 in every 3 people get motion sickness from playing that game mode. So we see that like break and then a fix again. But this one just makes no sense. Like, this is literally the biggest non-issue ever. Maybe 1 in 100 players wanted to use custom rosters in 2KU. Maybe 1 in 100. There should be an ability to do it. There should just in general be an ability to do it. Because again, if someone wants to practice with Anthony Davis, they can't. Through 2KU. Sure, you can go into My NBA, start a new My NBA, pick the Lakers and go with AD. You can do that. But why take away first of all, using custom rosters in 2KU should be a feature in the game. It should be in the game. But the fact that it's not isn't a big deal. But it should be in the game. But the fact that it's not in the game made zero difference because there was a workaround. YouTube tutorials, all you have to do is type it into Google and someone would teach you how to do it. But they fixed a bug. A bug that allowed you to do something that should have been a feature in the first place. And is it a big deal? No. But it just shows the damn priorities. There are game-breaking things that get ignored for years. Years and years. There are game-breaking problems with this game that just get ignored. But they will fix something that is literally something that should be a mechanic. The player base have figured out a workaround to make it the fact that it's not a mechanic a null point. But now no one can do it. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. There is zero reason. And I always try to think, okay, maybe there's a reason for this, maybe there's a reason for that. There are situations that just make no sense at all in this game. And so many just absolutely, there are so many great things about this game. I think NBA 2K, outside of the My Team game mode, I think they do the best job of any sports game in terms of a career mode. Outside of maybe WWE. I think WWE with 2K22 probably takes the crown. But they have a whole park system, which is so much better than pro clubs. Park is way better than pro clubs. So is Rec and all that stuff. The franchise mode, as someone who's made a couple of videos on FIFA career mode, franchise mode is a million times better. Miami is a million times better than FIFA career mode. But an Ultimate Team is just flawed. Or my team is just nowhere near Ultimate Team, but that's FIFA's bread and butter. But the fact is, they actually spent manpower. They spent time screwing up something that was a non-issue. Just like when they changed the dynamic duo boost for no reason. Just like when they made freaking, I don't know how the hell they made a locker code pack glitch so that only 5 players were available from it. It wasn't even a real pack. I don't understand the thought process. I'm not on the inside. I'm not a partner creator. I am a consumer. From a consumer perspective, this is BS. This is BS. It is. It's absolute BS from a consumer perspective. But even trying to put on the hat of a developer, the decisions that have been made in NBA 2K23 do not make sense. They make no sense whatsoever. And I'm just confused. I'm so confused. Because the big reason why people get so angry at 2K is we know it's really close to being a good game. We know it's really close to being a good game. We know there are a couple of big flaws in the game. I think they fixed paint defense. Great. There are a couple of issues, glaring issues with my team. First of all, and another one that I always say is this: your jersey selection screen. The only way to stop jerseys clashing is by doing one of two things. Doing what FIFA do and allowing you to pick. I think this is the most optimal example. Is that in FIFA's jersey select screen, you can actually choose what your team is wearing, what the other team is wearing, and you play every game at home. And that should be an option. I get it, it might be a little bit more difficult. That might be a little bit difficult to program. That should be an option because now you could play on an all-black court with fog and you can't even see. You can literally play with clashing jerseys because someone can make all 3 of their jerseys white with custom jerseys. You can have clashing jerseys, freaking a court that's black with fog and you can't see what's going on in the game. There should be a way around that. And a simple fix, the best fix would be the FIFA one, but that might be hard to program. But a very simple fix is to put a jersey select screen. So when you load into a game, there's 10 seconds where you can change your jersey so that it doesn't clash with your opponent's jersey. They've done since the dawn of time in every game. And I'm pretty sure you can do in play now. But they've done everything in their power to think of every way possible to make the jerseys, to not put in this simple fix. I don't know how hard it is to program, but it's the only fix. The only fix is some sort of jersey select screen. But they've done everything with alternate jerseys. You can't use certain colors. But now there's more jersey clashing than ever. I would jersey clash 1 in every 20 games before. I jersey clash 1 in every 6 games now. 1 in every 5 games. It's probably quadrupled the jersey clashes. It simply put doesn't work. But yet they put all of this time into trying to reinvent the wheel when there are simple fixes for things. And then they spend all of this time fixing things that don't need to be fixed when there are big issues. This game is so close to being good. It is so damn close to being good. And the problem is that they try to reinvent the wheel on things that work. On things that don't work, they don't just... It's just frustrating, man. It is so frustrating. And from the perspective of a consumer, there are so many just simple things. 2K don't do the basics right. 2K don't do the basics right. And that is the most frustrating thing. Is that you can have all the bells and whistles in the world, which 2K do. 2K have so many freaking good things in this game. But the basics, they can't get the basics right. And then they try to reinvent the wheel without figuring out the basics. And they try to... I don't know, maybe they're not trying to not copy other games with something simple like a damn jersey select screen. Or, I don't know, let's just use our guys in freestyle. I just don't. I'm just done, man. I'm just so freaking done. Game's so damn close to being good. It's just not.